This American fantasy drama series was written by Neil Gaiman, as we all know. We'll get him one year. But the execution of the book to the TV series was mainly due to the characters, through the actors that we're going to bring up here on stage to you today. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to you from American Gods, Bruce Langley! Demore Barnes! Hi, brother. And Mr. Ricky Whittle!
How you doing? So can we have a big round of applause for the two virgins on my left? This is their first Dragon Con. It's my second, but still, be gentle.
You know, I was already warned about you.
Yeah, you should have been. I don't really sit down. I like to walk around and, they've attached me.
But you got a leash here.
But I've got a mic over there, so I can still get to you all. No one is safe.
Demore and Bruce, I'll make sure you get equal time, okay? Just so you know.
We're used to this. We're very used to this.
What you trying to say, bro? What you trying to say?
You do this all the time.
All right, American Gods. I mean, I personally have not read the book, but I know the concept of the book and the concept. Wait, what? Sorry.
Boo.
I can't read. Come on.
Yo, Neil. Yeah, this brother's been under a rock.
But I have watched the series, and I am incredibly intrigued, and we're really anxious to find out a little bit about each one of you guys' characters and how you feel about the series itself in general. And we got a bunch of questions.
It's really good.
Once they start. All right, so Demore. How you
start
doing?
with me? Okay.
Yes, I'm going to start with you. How you doing, my friend?
I'm great, brother.
All righty, Mr. Ibis.
No.
You know, I'm from Florida.
No,
I think
Ibis,
yes.
You can't talk
Ibis.
normal. Right, okay, so this is we get
Ibis.
to speak like Ibis the whole time.
Uh-huh.
He reads
How does that work, Ricky? How
he
do
reads
you
menus,
speak by
he reads just anything. What do you think?
Please remember, you may be on DC TV right now.
I just think he needs his own audiobook company, and he could just read everyone bedtime stories and all sorts, and just he could read a phone book and he would still entertain the world. He has a beautiful silky voice and it's magical. Okay, enough fangirling.
Hey Bruce, how you doing down there, buddy?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, it seemed like we should have a battle of the gods sitting up here at this table right now, you know, with the new world, shall I say, and the old world. That'd be pretty.
Honestly, I don't think there'd be too much of a fight. The man to my right doesn't tend to get involved in conflicts that much. So if he chose to, I think...
This one or this one?
This guy.
Yeah.
And,
I'd love a fight.
And generally speaking, I don't think it would be that much of a conflict if it actually came down to it, but maybe we'll get to see this season, so we'll find out.
Ricky loves to fight, but I think he'll never be able to take on Mr. Wednesday, so...
Listen,
I
will take that man down.
As long as you're not robbing banks.
Ian Mcshane is an incredible human being, and if you guys don't know him, he seems fierce, he seems kind of ferocious, but that guy is the biggest prankster on set. That guy is so unprofessional, it's untrue. 50 years in the business, you'd thought that guy would learn some, rules and regulations, and when, fresh actors come up and we're excited to work with a magnificent actor, one of the finest of our generation, you're nervous, and he's cracking rude jokes just before you go for a take, and then...
Who does not know who Ian Mcshane is? Raise your hand if you do not know who Ian Mcshane is.
It's okay to not know who Ian Mcshane is. It's fine. I will not judge.
It's impossible not to know.
This is like at school. One of my favorite teachers of all time, she was like, there are no dumb questions. If you do not ask a dumb question, there's 4 people behind you who also won't have a clue if you do not ask it. And so all of a sudden, I was that guy. I don't know. And literally, I educated half my class because no one had the balls to put their hand up, whereas I didn't care.
Awesome. Speaking of questions, do we have anybody in the back lined up yet? You have a question?
Take my hat off. You can't see my face. Oh, that's a shame. It's almost like you don't know it's me.
If you have questions, guys, start lining up behind those folks, and we have one on this side. Good morning.
It's great to have you guys here.
We have a speaker here on the stage, so she's talking behind us.
I have great powers myself.
Bingo.
So
You do. I can hear you right here.
my question is, growing up, was there any gods?
This presumes that we're grown up.
Yeah. Or just in your past, like, was there any gods in particular or myths that you found very impactful, and you were like, that's a really wonderful story. I just truly appreciate the morals that god or story kind of put forth. So was there any like character traits and stuff that you took from?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's start with Bruce. Bruce?
Well, I think generally in terms of classical theism or otherwise, in terms of other pantheons, gods are mostly dicks. They just kind of are. They're avatars for all of these negative, avaricial human emotions. There are some that you get some good morals from. I loved the Greek pantheon growing up, so any of those stories I thought were fantastic. I think there's lots you can get from the stories, but I would argue they're probably not from the gods themselves.
Cool.
Sweet.
Demore, if I can interject, this series has taught me that there are more gods out, Ethiopian gods. Of course, I was brought up on Greek and Roman gods and Norse mythologies and things of that nature, but there was Ethiopian gods and other nationalities. So it was nice to have an introduction to any gods. How about you, Demore?
No. No, it's a fantastic question. I just like it so early in the morning. Oh my gosh, and then the pantheon of the hubbity. I was like, I don't know. Cornflakes. As a kid growing up, I really loved, he's not a god, but I love the Incredible Hulk. I love the original Incredible Hulk.
Bruce worked out with him this morning.
He
He bullied him. Lou Ferrigno wanted to use the weights, and Bruce said no.
That's not...
True story.
I had one set left.
Lie. Go on, Bruce, lie. You stopped Lou from working out, bully.
It's not at all true. Luke, get off me. Yeah, always making friends, that's me, hooray.
All right, Ricky, I guess it's on you. Any gods you liked when
Other
you were
than
growing
me.
up? What's that?
I mean, the two gods to my left are pretty awesome.
Ooh.
I love my gods, fam. Such soft hands too. Soft voice, soft hands. I don't know. I mean, gods. Pamela Anderson on Baywatch. She used to run in slow motion. She taught me so much about being a young man when I was a kid. I learned what a hair flip was. I learned how to, stop women from using that as a special power against me, because it used to take me down every time for a while. No. I mean, touching on what you just said. I mean, the show's great at just accepting every god, and saying that your God doesn't make my God any less important, and my God doesn't do the same to you or yours, and we're all able to just kind of worship or believe in something and make it our own, whether that be a god, actor, actress, musician, song, whatever it is you focus on. We all struggle each day. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life. We've all got problems. We've all got things going on, and it's whatever we cling to, whatever we hang on to, whatever we believe in, that gets us through that day. So the show is great at enlightening an audience that some may not have known about. It's educated me, and hopefully it educates a lot of the world about the beauties of other cultures and the beauties of other gods, and that we should just accept all of them, because really, I've got no say over how you live your life, and you've got no say over how I live my life. We should just accept everyone as they are and whatever they believe in, and just focus on our own game. But that and The Little Mermaid was pretty cool too.
Okay.
Pardon? Thierry Henry. That sucker played for Arsenal. I will never worship Thierry. Man United all the way. We play Sunday. It's okay. We got time. We had a bad start, but so I'm talking football, real football. Football.
See what you did?
America. I love your country. I love your people. I love your sports. But we need to have we need to have a talk about naming.
Soccer.
Football. We play football with our feet. We use a ball, a sphere, a round ball. Hence the name, football. Set around the world. You can go to the smallest little country in Asia and they go, football. They know what it is.
Hey, Ricky.
America.
Ricky.
You use your hands. You also use an egg. It's not round, it's an egg. So you are hand egg, throw egg, whatever you want to call it, but it's not football.
Ricky. We have linebackers and we don't fake injuries. Next question. How you doing back there?
Okay. And this is always the argument that you can't win. American football is just rugby for pussies.
But they wear tight pants for the ladies. Okay, next question.
They don't wear pads in rugby, but I'm not saying that real. I know a lot of American footballers, and they would eat me alive. I train with them, and they're monsters. I love them all. Don't ever show them this. They're amazing.
Do not get this man drunk tonight, please. Hi. Go ahead.
Can I help get this man drunk tonight?
How you doing?
How you doing? I can come up and ask my question.
You come up and ask that question if you want.
Wait a minute, we gave you a mic. Here she comes. She's coming. She's coming. Ricky.
Mike what?
Yeah, take this one.
Hello.
Oh.
You're not working.
They'll hit it at Demore.
Did you turn me off?
Yeah, hold on.
How does someone turn me on?
Peace out.
He turned me on. That turned me on. It did turn me on. Right, guys, I'll leave you to it. What's your question?
Sadly, it's poopers.
Okay, let's go over here. Can you even see him? Be careful.
Hello. I love how you do. Right.
You can rub his leg too.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your character being so much bigger in the series than he was in the book?
That's a very good question.
That is an excellent question.
I think it's first off, I think it's wonderful. Yeah, quite right.
You might want to wait for a minute, Bruce.
Carry on, Brucey.
Thank you, sweetheart. I think it's indicative of how much technology has become a part of our everyday lives and how much it has fully integrated into pretty much everything that we do. And the amount that the character pops up in the series is reflective of how much we are all fully engaging with technology on a day-to-day basis and how it's becoming a synergy. We're augmenting. We're already doing it. We've got AIs in our pockets. Half of you are recording me now. It's everyone.
He's a real-life tech boy, by the way.
100%. Hey, Ricky, be careful that mic near the speakers. I was just informed that.
Near the speakers.
You'll know. So. All right, good question. Good answer to the question. Ricky.
Where's our next questions? Over here.
Oh, on that side, yeah. Do you have a question, Ricky?
I'm just walking the room. It's lovely. Good morning. Where you from? Atlanta.
Ricky, go over there to this young lady right here. I'm sure she wants you to get close.
No, I don't want to do your job. You're doing a fantastic job. I will watch you do this from here.
So have any of y'all had any pushback from any religious communities or organizations for your portrayal of God?
Good question.
Boys?
I
passed that on.
I would say nothing that we have been actively exposed to. I would say anything that does get fielded our way is dealt with very respectfully. We haven't had a whole bunch of pushback that we have been made intimately aware of, but I think the general vibe is people are understanding what we're trying to do with the show, and we're approaching everything with such a degree of respect and reverence to examine issues that go beyond religion. So
Excellent.
I think with that we're doing okay.
Excellent.
How about any philosophical?
We keep it pretty broad as well too. There's a sense within the show that I think the overarching sentiment is that we're somewhat representative of every perspective, which I think is something that's lacking in not only the U.S. but around the world. And so there's a way in which I think everyone can identify with American gods in some form or another. And so there's not a particular stance that we espouse or that we put forth, but really it's an invitation to everyone to begin a dialogue in a way that's much needed.
Excellent.
I love it.
Woo!
Okay.
I'm proud of this cast. They're intelligent, aren't they? That's why I let them have it.
Oh, Ricky's still out there? Okay. Hey. Hi.
What's up, Demore?
Football.
Name the film.
Atlanta Falcons. Oh my God. The Ricky Show. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. We're listening.
Hey guys, obviously we know what characters you are now, but did y'all try out for a different part, and what was your reaction when y'all got the parts y'all have?
Oh.
Could you repeat that again, sorry?
I said, what was your reaction when y'all found out that y'all got the parts that y'all have? And did y'all try out for a different character
Did
maybe?
you audition for any other characters other than Ricky? Probably. I don't think I've ever told you this, but I actually initially read for Shadow.
Oh. Is that a true story?
It's true.
Whoa. What, I'm just learning this now?
Whoa. So I read for Shadow, and then I read for Mr. Ibis, and then they had me read for Anubis. And it's quite obvious where I ended up, isn't it? Yeah. Wow. Interesting. But it worked out the way it needed to. How about you, Bruce?
I only ever, shocker, I only ever auditioned for the one who looks like a 16-year-old schoolgirl. So... But I found when I got the role, I was at the time I was living in London. I was doing a few temp jobs at the time. I was also doing kids parties, and I just picked up a suitcase of lightsabers and a suitcase of with a Shaggy Doo costume and toilet paper to wrap kids up as mummies. So I had one hand with each suitcase, just taking them down the street, and that's when I got the call saying that I got the role. I was pretty much dumbstruck. It still doesn't really feel real, but in a very, very good way. So, yeah, I suppose just hooray.
And that comes to you, Ricky. Did you try out for any other roles other than what you ended up with?
Yeah, I read for Mr. Wednesday and Easter and Chernobog and Bilquis.
This close.
Brian and Michael were very confused where the other actor went. No, I only read for Shadow. I was actually a part of another show at the time. But a fan told me about it. I learned from the fans, from you guys, what American Gods was, what Shadow was, and that they were actually looking to cast the protagonist for the show. I was at San Diego Comic-Con for my other show. Who? It's some small thing. It doesn't matter. I forget its name. So they kind of introduced me to the book, and so I kind of looked it up and thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And then the fans were kind of putting their names forward for who they wanted to be Shadow, and my name came close to the top or whatever it was, and so they kind of said, yeah, we'd love to read him if he's free. And it's like, yeah, I should be free at the end of the season. It should time out perfectly. And I mean, everyone knows the long old process of everyone else had a nice easy one. They loved you guys. They were like, yeah, we'll take you. I had 5 months to try and convince them and pay them off to take me.
Well, it's interesting because when Bruce and I were flying in last night, we were sharing stories, we were exchanging stories of sort of our casting journey to becoming a part of the Gods, and Ricky and I have had conversations as well. We've all had conversations, and interestingly enough, while it may seem very obvious from you, you are cherished fans when you watch the show. The casting seems very obvious, but we all had to fight to be in this position. The fights were all different, but I mean, we won.
Yes. Great choice for that. Was Ian Mcshane their first choice? Do you know? Do you know anything if they really were leading?
No comment.
Really, no comment?
Nah. It's not my place to say what they wanted for other characters and stuff like that. All I know is that Ian Mcshane is incredible and perfect for the role.
Absolutely. We have another question. Hi, Joker.
So the cinematography in the show is just amazing. Like watching it, I'd like to know what each one of your favorite scenes were to shoot.
The first scene I ever shot was the scene that I auditioned with over the course of 4 months to get the role, which was my first ever scene with this one in the limo, season 1, episode 1. So the first time to see my character. That was pretty much more or less wasn't my quite first day. Had a little shoot the night before, but it was my first full day, and it was me in the limo with a telescopic crane lens coming into this far away from my eye, then rotating out as the set telescopes out with 3 people moving the side of it. It was, that one.
Talking to me, who was like down.
Yeah, who was about, not 20 feet, maybe 10, 15 feet away on a little box, poking up so I could see him, just to stay in eye line. God bless you. But yeah, that one stays in the memory, and that's always going to have a fond place in my heart.
I think for myself, it would be really the introduction of the mortuary with Laura and Anubis with Jackal. It's one of the coolest sets that I've ever seen in my career. Just the level of detail that's gone into the set, even just in terms of the wallpaper. The wallpaper is handmade and custom made. The floors, the tools, all of the knickknacks, which are all things that, as you watch us approach season 2, I and American Gods will introduce you to the mortuary, and in season 2, you're all going to get much more acquainted with it, as well as the other gods, with Mr. Ibis and his lair.
Wow. I'm thinking of the character of Anubis. I think that was probably one of the most upsetting gods I've ever, as a single man, in my life. So, how about you, Ricky?
There's so many, and I'm going to probably say different scenes throughout the weekend just to keep it fresh for you guys. So today, I will talk about my scene with Laura, Emily, in the hotel room when she was in the bath. And when, Shadow finally got to say, when she's like, "Are you still my puppy?" And Shadow's like, "No." I didn't realize the reaction that would get from an audience. Like, it was like, literally like, people were like, "Yeah!" It's like, they're supposed to be in love. What's wrong with you people? And they're like, no, Shadow's too good for her. She's a bitch. But it's like, I was like, what? But I just really enjoyed that scene with Emily. It was really fun, and like looking back at it, it's hilarious, the stuff that we do that you don't know. So when Emily gets out of the bath, number one, that's not her body. She's wearing a cast, like a full body cast. So it looks like her body, but it's not. So to us, she looks naked. To her, she thinks she's wearing clothes. So she gets very comfortable very quickly. And you're just like trying to be a gentleman, like, was that M? Yeah, just in between takes, you're like, yeah, okay, sweet. Okay, and she's like, Ricky, that's not me. I'm like, kind of is. Feels weird. I shouldn't. And then there's a bit where she gets out the bath and she walks over to Shadow and kisses him, and her heart beats for the first time. If you don't know Emily or have never seen her in real life, she's this big. And Shadow's a bit nervous and scared because his wife's just come back from the dead. So when she goes to kiss him, Shadow can't kiss her. She has to kiss him because, he's scared. You're not just going to jump in, and it'd look weird if I leant down to kiss her. So they had to build a runway of boxes. So she could get out the bath, walk along this catwalk up to me, and just kiss me without me having to move. So for a scene, Emily is about 6 foot tall, which she enjoyed. She's also not the smallest in the cast, which is shocking.
She's not?
She's not. Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, yes.
Pocket Rocket is the greatest woman you'll ever meet in your life. That ball of sunshine is amazing. So working with her was also great in the finale. After a long season, when that ball of sunshine comes blasting through the door, hey y'all! Well, ain't you just sweet as a button? I want to marry you. For reals. So working with her was a lot of fun too.
Yeah. It's nice to know that she's like that in real life as opposed to
she doesn't turn off.
Yeah.
That's like for real. It's not an act. It's not nothing. Like literally first thing in the morning, last thing at night. She'll send me a random message, like just any time of the day,
Ricky, I want to marry you.
I wish it was, but she'll just tell me funny stories or just like tell me something that happened with her day, and she's like, I just wanted you to know. Anyway, thinking of you. Bye.
Awesome. Okay, where are we? On this side of the room, I think, right? Hi.
Okay. So I work on sets too, and I've had the privilege of working on diverse sets, but not only just diverse sets, but sets that protect it. So I wanted to know, how does American Gods, in front of the camera and behind the camera especially with their crews, protect and promote, LGBT, POC, and women?
How they protect?
Protect and enforce and I guess promote diversity.
I think the best way to describe our show is we don't think about it because it's not an issue. On our sets, we cast fantastic actors, and I'm very proud that we have possibly the most diverse cast in all of.
Yeah, you don't need protection when you're at home, right?
Yeah,
I feel like our set's really home, So. To echo what Ricky's saying, like it's not even. I think it's a great question, but it's a
great question for a lot of shows and a lot of sets out there. But we are really truly blessed with, from producers down through the crew, the cast. It's an incredible set. I remember us having dinner once and just looking around the table, just going, "This is beautiful. This is America."
Yeah.
It was a wonderful moment where we were just having fun, having a laugh, and it really is just like all the flavors of the world just mixed into one, which is what makes America beautiful. And I hope that this kind of filters into other shows and other industries where it doesn't become a problem, where it's not an issue, where we don't have to talk about it so much to keep it in the headlines. But as long as there are kind of people out there who will not promote equality and fight for everyone's rights, then we will continue to do that from our platform and hopefully shine a light and show the way in every way we can until everyone does kind of feel welcome.
And it's great to have guests like this to promote answers such as that, because you'll notice, I don't know if you're a first-time Dragon Conner here, but that is in fact a definite non-issue for the 5 days that we're here. It doesn't exist. That's how much of a family we are here, and when they promote that on the screen, it's even better. So, hi! Thank you so much, by the way. Hello.
Hi, I'm really nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous.
I'm a huge fan of the show, and I just want to say I think you guys are all great. My question is, when it comes to like the history of the gods, right? Because some of these gods have been around for like centuries. Is there anything that really interested you even before the show started? Like, being a fan of Egyptian gods or something like that. Just something that you absolutely thought was interesting.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great. It's a great question. I think. Hello. It's a great question. Mr. Ibis, tall. Mr. Ibis. He is believed to be the oldest of the gods. I found that interesting. I also found it interesting that that he is known historically as being the keeper of the secrets of the gods. And so I know from an acting standpoint, from a story standpoint, it's something that I have a lot of fun playing with in terms of walking and exploring that line of what does Mr. Ibis know relative to what you think he should know, you know. And it's fun even just in terms of his chronicling the lives and the stories of the other gods and other individuals, throughout the show, and exploring what it is to be omniscient or to know almost everything. He doesn't know everything, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. So yeah, no, does that answer your question? You okay? Do you like that? Use the mic. I can't.
I mean, what about the rest?
The rest of the cast? Bruce?
Well, quite deliberately, vis-a-vis being a new god, very young. However, technology in many forms has been around for as long as human beings have used tools to create things and shape the world around us. So with that in mind, it was interesting to look back at what the god may have looked like way back in the day and why he is the way he is now. For example, the iteration that we all know and love from the book is very different from the one we see in the show because technology is different. So looking into what made that character think and act differently versus where I'm at now. And I mean, as I said, I love the Greek pantheon. I've been looking far more into the Norse pantheon as well, and that's more just to the point of because my character would know close to more about all of the rest of the gods than they know about themselves because of the access to the internet and all the rest of that. So with that in mind, it's operating with the best codex imaginable, just running in the back of your head the whole time.
I just wanted to be on TV.
How do I follow Bruce, man? He kills me every time. Bruce is like the most intelligent dude you've ever met in your life, and he's like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. Like,
we know what happened to Joffrey.
Like, you want to punch him in the throat when he's on TV, but he's the nicest dude in the world, which shows like what a great actor he is. Because like on screen, he's a little son of a what? But in real life, he's the nicest, most sweetest Englishman you've ever met. It's true. You should be our poster child for Great Britain. Like more people would want to visit England if you were around.
Sure, I'll hop on the phone to the Queen.
And I bet you know her because she probably thinks you're lovely too. The show is fantastic at showing a variety of gods and religion and faiths and stuff. And so for me, it's just fantastic to learn. I'm being educated as I'm assuming a lot of America is about the different cultures and stuff. So there's a lot that I'm learning. And I was really interested in learning about the First Nation and stuff when I read the book. There's a lot of that kind of scattered throughout the book with Whiskey Jack coming in, Sam Crow, and we learn a lot about the the natives' culture, which we're able to expand upon in this season, in this coming season, season 2. Pardon? It starts early 2019. You are good. Are you a planet? You've been sent here by stars. We don't have an official date yet, and I can't even pretend.
Oh, good.
February 14th.
Our fans
I
are.
told you right now, it's going to be Valentine's. No, it's not going to be.
Our fans are used to lining up in front of panels and whatever. I'm sure she'll be lined up in front of her television set, just waiting for that to start, right?
There will be a teaser coming out soon, so you'll see a trailer.
Look,
sound like my ex. I'm having flashbacks. Pardon?
Yeah,
I don't want you to come up here again. That's terrifying.
All right.
But yeah, it'll be early next year.
Cool. Now that you used up your 5 questions, we're back to that side of the room. How you doing?
Hi, Ricky, this is a question for you.
Hello, lovely.
Thank you. My book club just finished reading Austin Land. And we watched the movie, of course, as part of that as well. Just curious if you had any fun stories. It looked like it must have been a fun set with Jennifer Coolidge and James Callis. They seem like they'd be fun to work with.
So this is another book adaptation that we made a movie of. It was the producers of Twilight and Napoleon Dynamite. You put that together, and Austenland was the crazy baby that they had. And it's basically, Kerry Russell is this woman who's obsessed with Jane Austen, and Mr. Darcy, Pride and Prejudice. She's looking for her Mr. Darcy, who comes out the water all wet, and her friends are like, he doesn't exist, you need to get over it. And then she finds this resort in England, where everyone is dressed, they're all actors, all the staff are actors and dressed in kind of regal attire and stuff, and they speak in Old English, and they romance the women and give them that experience. And I play a character who doesn't quite get it. So he's more of a Captain Jack Sparrow, and as a sailor, his outfit is good. His entrance alone is a slow motion wind machine at breakfast, and he has no hair. But he still has a wind machine because he's that character. So this is a crazy, crazy comedy. And he just uses it to just seduce as many women as he can. It's basically, Jane Seymour's basically a pimp, and she's pimping women to these actors. Do you want me to get that? No. But there are so many stories. That film literally could have been 5 hours long. It took 2 years to come out because they had so much material and they had no idea which direction to go or what to cut. Because you had people like Jennifer Coolidge who didn't go to the script at all. I would say probably 60-70% of her dialogue that was in that film was ad-libbed. She made it up. So literally, we would talk and the director would go, this is where I realized I was a little bit out of my depth. It was my first ever comedy, and I'd love to do it again, but wow, that woman. So they go, Ricky, just give me a couple of options, and I'll go, punchline. That was good. Punchline. That was a good one as well, right? I'm feeling myself now. Hold on. Bam! And they're like, you're so good. I'm out. That's it. I had about 3. She would keep going and going and going and hit it different times with different jokes every single time. She could do until you told her to stop, she would just do different things. And you see that in some of the bloopers where she just puts on her crappy English accent that she did. She did it in Friends as well. Hello, do you like strawberries? I mean, you've heard me and Bruce, we don't talk like that, but when she does it, it's kind of hilarious and you accept it. So there's a lot of stories about Jennifer Coolidge just ruining takes because you can't keep a straight face when you're working with her. And if you watch carefully through the film, sometimes you may see an actor kind of look away because they can't look her in the eye. And if it's the back of the head, all you see is this.
Happens on our set too.
It's nuts.
Who's carrying Austin Land?
What's that?
What channel is Austin Land being shown on? Is that a Netflix?
It's a movie. I think it's on Netflix still.
You can get it on Amazon Prime, I think.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon Prime too. Yeah,
Okay, sure.
Amazon has everything.
Yes.
They have us.
Austin Land, guys.
In 200 countries around the world. 200 territories. I didn't know there was 200 territories.
Hey, buddy.
I can count 60.
You're next. Go ahead.
5.
Hi, yes. Given that there was such a gap between when the book was published and when the show came out, are there any sort of updated gods you think we'll see in season 2 or maybe 3? And if so, what would you like to see as far as a new god?
Is that for everyone or anyone in specific?
Yeah,
everyone.
everyone.
Any thoughts?
Well, I think touched on briefly is that the new gods have had to evolve with the times as they are reflective of them, and the entire crux of the conflict of our show is that these old gods are refusing to do that, and that's where the conflict comes from. I'm trying to think. I don't want to give away any spoilers. I'll play it safe. I'll think. Sorry, come back to me in a moment. I'll try and neuter this a little. No, I mean move on. I'm actually thinking.
That was it.
Literally come back to me in a minute or two. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Literally.
Okay. Have you got some? No?
Yeah. I'll go.
I would like to see something that I feel is very relevant right now. And a shame. Maybe the god of like beauty. I hope you're okay. Big smiles. No one cries at a con. I was going to go into my Tom Hanks then. Are you crying? There's no crying in baseball. Baseball.
Yeah, okay.
Cons.
It's football too. Yeah. Okay.
Baseball. It's a good job he's pretty. All right, it's a god of beauty. Because I feel that the world is so obsessed with appearance and beauty and things that we can't send a photo nowadays without putting a filter on it. And if what we kind of have established is that people believe things in and worship things into being, then there should be a god of beauty. And what would that look like? You'd probably have some stupid bunny ears and like a flawless face and like, you know, all these crazy filters that we now put on because we're so scared to put our true selves out there. You know, me included. I'll put filters and stuff on different like little instant posts and stuff like that just because it's funny and you look better and stuff. But yeah, I just feel that'd be kind of interesting to approach and maybe educate the world that, you know, we're all built differently for a reason. You know, there's true beauty in the variety and different spices that we all have in this room, and everyone's beautiful in their own special way, and we should, you know, really accept that and kind of embrace it more. So it'd be interesting to see who that God would be and what that God would be and what their role in this war would be. And would they be an old God or a new God? Because it's kind of, you know.
Would you guys nominate Ricky as a god of beauty? Dumb question, but yeah. Do you accept?
No, because I want to be the god of chocolate.
Ooh.
Because I will rule the world. You take chocolate away from these people, watch them lose their shit.
Yes, I agree. That and Starbucks. You're right.
Even if you say, I could do it, that's fine. But if you had no choice, you would go mad.
Right. Bruce, are we coming back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's back in the game.
Back in the game. I would like to see, possibly in future seasons, a representation of some form or avatar for the god of a culture of fear. So I think that's something that we are growing into more and more, particularly over the last 2 years, particularly in America. Some kind of representation of pinpointing an entire nation's insecurities and targeting scapegoats so effectively to a subliminal point that we don't even realize they're being targeted. So we're analyzing people through a lens that we don't even realize that we're using. That could arguably translate into one of the gods that's already around. If not, I think that would be an interesting one to look at and examine through a lens, because if we become aware of it, we can actually do something about it.
Yeah. Damn, that guy's smart. That guy got smart.
Oh, now Demore wants to play too.
Go ahead, Demore.
It's a sign of a fantastic question. I think I think what comes to mind is the god of trauma. I think of it in terms of the profound effect that our life experiences have on us and how we go forward in life. And not only how we go forward in life, but how we view others within the world and how we view ourselves. And I think that in connection with time. So I kind of think of the superpower of being able to heal others of the traumas that they've experienced and have them be able to replay their life, their best life, in the way that they actually dream and desire to play it. Because I just think, like, what would happen if Hitler or Donald Trump or Nate, fill in the blank, if they were to worship this God.
I like that. Sort of an empathic sort of God. Awesome. And Ricky, you already gave your answer on that. God of Beauty, Mr. Ricky Whittle. Hi.
Hey guys. One of the reasons why I like this show is because I feel like it has a lot of powerful scenes, such as Anansi on the slave ship, or Anubis when he's trying to take Laura to the other side. I want to know, what were your favorite scenes when you rewatched the show?
That speech that Anansi gave on that slave ship.
Orlando Jones should have got an Emmy or a Globe or something like that. Orlando Jones is an incredible actor and has been a huge force in this second season as well. You'll see a lot more Anansi this season. But that's the joy of this cast. I say it all the time, and I genuinely mean it, and it should be accepted around the world. It's the best ensemble cast I've ever seen on TV. It's incredible. And to be blessed with these actors beside me, these actors that we've left at home, is awesome. You're just sat there learning. I've been on fun sets, I've been on great sets, but this is just, it's mind-blowing. And to work opposite an Orlando Jones, these guys here, your love for Yetide, Bilquist, she should have got something for her scene. She did one scene in episode 1 and it was incredible. People just keep popping up with their just incredible talent, and it's fantastic. So the first season everyone had like incredible moments, and then the second season's no different. Everyone's bringing their A game. What's your favorite?
Yeah, it's interesting. The ones you mentioned, I think are very obvious and clear, and I think I kind of echo a bit of what Ricky's saying in that you have those scenes that are really obviously powerful, but I think really almost any scene in the hands of a really talented actor is a powerful scene. I can't tell you how many times, even this season, wait till you see season 2, but so many times where I find myself in scenes and having to remind myself who I'm playing and what I'm intending to do in the scene, because I'm watching everyone else's performance, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was such an interesting choice. That was amazing.
And I don't think this is a spoiler. Remember when you got distracted by a cat's acting?
I did. I might have flubbed a line because of a cat.
Basically, Bast is going to be in season 2. For those who know the book. But we have a real cat who is a real actress.
And it's real funny.
Who is incredible. And because she's so incredible, Demore got distracted. It was like...
That was amazing, because at one point we were doing the scene and one of the characters says a joke, and the joke is horrible, and the cat looks over at us and then jumps down off the chair and walks out the door. And I was just like, what the hell? Right on cue. It was hilarious, but I missed my next line.
Oh my God. The cat was the critic, obviously, right?
The cat just walked out the door.
Oh my God.
The cat then turned around, was just like...
Go do that again? Do it again.
I'll be in my trailer.
All right, hi. This side, right? Or we're in this side, okay.
Who has been your favorite actor to work with in the course of this series?
Uh-oh. Demore and Bruce. Ricky and Bruce.
No comment. I would consider it unprofessional to say. Everyone's lovely.
Oh my God! And you have some incredible guest actors on what? Gillian Anderson, you had Cloris Leachman, you've had on the show. I can name a few more, but
The list goes on. Peter. It's incredible. It really is a fantastic cast. But I've done a lot of working. They say never work with kids and animals. I did a lot of animal work this year. I feel like Dr. Dolittle. Because we've had a cat, we may have had a little birdie, and there was something else I can't quite remember.
You used to have cows.
Buffalo, yeah. The buffalo may come back. So yeah, I do a lot of talking with animals. But that's I find it amazing. It's impressive that they kind of do what you want sometimes, not all the time. The cat was better than the bird. The bird did not want to play. The bird had a girlfriend, and they brought two. It's a raven. It's a raven. You know it's a raven. It's mooning and hugging. Come on, let's just please me. But Munnin, or the chick, was over there, and the dude was over here because we only used one at a time. But they missed each other, so they kept talking and be like, "Where are you? I'm over here. Hurry up! They're taking forever." And we're like, just do the scene, dude, and you can go back over there. So he would not do what he was told because he kept yapping to his lady. So then they really appreciated Demore and Bruce.
All right. Hey guys, we're going to try and get at least 2 more questions in. It may only be 1 depending on the answer. So let's go over here to the side again.
All right. Hi guys. Obviously, I'm a fan of Neil Gaiman, and I was wondering, were any of you guys fans before you got involved, and how much involvement does Neil Gaiman have in the production?
Good question.
Nope, and a lot. What did you say? I said nope and a lot. I didn't know who Neil Gaiman was, and then I met him, and now I'm a fangirl. He's incredible. And he is very much involved in casting, in writing. He was sent all the tapes for Shadow, and so and all the other cast, and he has a say on the episodes, the story arcs, and things like that. And we'll be seeing him in a couple of weeks, I think. He'll be back up again. So, yeah, he took us out for dinner last month or before then. You didn't go, did you? You were busy.
I was filming.
Yeah, that was a shame.
How about you, Bruce? I'm curious. Bruce, were you familiar with the books?
Well, I had some exposure to Neil's work before, Stardust and Coraline, mainly. I wasn't familiar with American Gods. The script was my first exposure, but obviously from this I've used it as a springboard, so of course American Gods. I think honestly a very, very close second for me is Ocean at the End of the Lane, and I think that is one of the most beautiful representations of what it means to be a child and to be afraid and to try and work out what it means to grow up. I also think Neverwhere is an absolutely beautiful book. I just finished Norse mythology. That is a hell of a... Actually, to harken back to an earlier story, Tyr's all right as a god. He's seen, in terms of Norse pantheon, they're all kind of dicks, but Tyr had his heart in the right place, at least in some iterations. So yeah, no, I love the worlds that Neil creates. I think he explores things with the wonder of the child and the eloquence of a poet, and I love it.
Yeah, I didn't hear you, Bruce. Are you familiar with the Sandman series, the comics? Are you?
No, I'm not actually.
Yeah. Oh.
No, perhaps that should be my next one. When you
go get it.
I definitely recommend them.
Who said that? Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning. Considering how this particular landmark factors into the story, I was curious if you guys had ever been to Rock City.
No, but we will be.
It's just a short drive away, from here. So
Sorry?
It's just a short drive away from here.
They're working.
I'm kind of busy. We don't have time when we're at cons. You know, we're kind of having fun and meeting all you guys, and then it's straight back to filming on Tuesday for us. But we will get the chance to work down here at Rock City when we get to that part of the book. So we will be back.
We're going to squeeze in one last question that goes to this gentleman right here. You're the last one. Make it a good one.
I'm sorry, ladies.
Oh, what was your most awkward scene to film in the entire series?
Did you say awkward?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Season 1, yeah? I'll go season 1. Do you want to start, boys?
I don't think any of mine have been awkward. I've just been having a really good time.
I had a couple scenes with Emily on the table with nothing on, on the table. You guys are rude. That was pretty awkward.
I see your Emily on a table with nothing on, and I raise you dry humping your friend. Shadow and Laura love scenes. So don't ever be disillusioned. Don't ever think that it's sexy time for us actors when we're doing these love scenes. You have about 4 dudes stood around staring at you. You have a director telling you how to make love. You're trying not to offend your partner that you're with. It's pretty awkward. It is pretty awkward. And then, we were doing that scene for a whole day. And, you're knocking out your press-ups in between, and everybody's like going, "What are you doing? You look stupid." I'm like, "Get a quick pump! It makes a difference!" Because don't let any male tell you different. We all do it. The Supernatural boys, all those boys, anytime they got their kid up, they're doing press-ups. We do.
Bruce, can you top that awkward scene?
Not in terms of awkward. So the interrogation scene with a whole bunch of the girls, I wouldn't say awkward in any way, but when I get my head smacked against the steel table, that part wasn't in the script. That's just crisping. So when we were blocking it through, it just leads me to the table, and I'm like, this run me pretty hard. All right, let's just see where this goes. Cute. I had a big old red bump. Makeup had to come back in and dull that down. They then swapped the table out for a foam one for the actual take. So, you never know what you're going to get with Mr. Glover, and it's an absolute joy to work with him.
But I just want to say he's actually really lovely.
He is. He's a
sweet guy.
He's absolutely adorable. He's a fantastic human being.
I was there when he spoke to you afterwards, and he's like, "Bruce, you're okay with that, aren't you? I didn't hit you too hard. Are you okay with that?" Bruce is like, "No, it's great. It's great. It's fine."
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our American God, Bruce Langley. Come on, boys, and Mr. Ricky Whittle.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end. You can subscribe here to subscribe to the channel. There's more videos off to the left. Mr. J says don't forget to ring that bell button for more notifications.